Hey folks, it's Casey from the Nerdy Photographer, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about ON1 software. Now, ON1 software is a photo editing software platform that can be used standalone by itself or in conjunction with Photoshop and Lightroom. It has a lot of great features. You can buy it outright, no subscription necessary, or you can subscribe and get regular updates. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into this review. So here we are in the main interface for ON1 software. You can see it's very catalog-like, is very similar to Lightroom in the sense that you have your little thumbnails. You can go through and select your images. These are images that I imported just for this. So we're going to take a look at this Wonder Wheel image. And when you open it up, you have this choice of all sorts of different presets and such over here on your left-hand side for different types of scenes. They have them, organized for you. We're going to float through some of these. See if we can find one for this particular photo. One thing I'll say is the organization of all of these types of things, not real thrilled with that. Maybe a little too retro. New. Very. It's what people think retro should look like. Okay, maybe. I don't know. There's all sorts of different LUTs, LUTs, and presets for pretty much any situation. These are ones with frames around them. I find something that's a good fit for this photo, so we can do some more editing. I don't like the Gaussian blur look on photos. I feel like it's overdone. We'll find something else here. But look, this comes with it. These are the other tons of presets that come with this. And there we have there's a little AI remove tool. Let's see about removing this. Think here. Oh no, did not select well. We don't have another select option. Let's try that on something else. That could have been a little too big. Let's try it on this area over here. How does it work there? Perfect. All right, so yeah, it's much like Photoshop, like a patch tool. If it's you're too close to an edge, you can get some weird results. But I handled that sky pretty nicely. All right, and you can adjust. You can move the selection over afterwards. It's just hard with those things with edges. They're not very good. Okay, I'm going to bring up this is our AI brilliance effect. They have these little sliders. They don't really tell you what these things are for. Like then we get into our very much like Lightroom. We've got our sliders for exposure and highlights, shadows, contrast, etc., etc. And we have another set of utilities over here. Different things we can select from. And lens corrections. This is some different tools to transform this. We want to straighten things out. We want to adjust the image as a whole. Let's try to zoom out a little bit. We're going to take, this also has a sky replacement feature. I don't think that sky replacement I think it's we're getting too much of the behind the, this might be a lagging issue. We're getting that blue behind. Let's try this. Or because I did the replacement, that's what it is. It's not catching up with the part that you got to do that before you, or after you do your clouds and skies. You're seeing the little the section that I repaired over there on the right. One thing I like about these sky replacements is that it's giving the foreground some light to match the sky that you choose. A lot of the programs don't do that, so you have to find a way to like match up the lighting. It knows, it recognizes the light, in the quality of light in the skies that you're choosing from. That may only be for the ones that come included. You can upload your own skies, but I don't know. Maybe that might be one that you have to see with if you upload your own sky, if it will do that. Let's go to the portrait section. This is something I love to use in ON1. I use frequently in ON1 when I'm retouching portraits, because it has a really nice, quick system for doing this. And I'll mention it later, but you can launch this section, or many of the sections of like portraits, resize, and whatever, from Lightroom and Photoshop. And I use this usually when I'm in Lightroom and I just want to do edits where I'm not opening Photoshop, and I'll pop up this has changed. The smoothing, even though this is on frequency separation, looks like, again, a surface blur. Not so sure about that. And I don't see... Well, this has just been updated. So I'm doing this, and this looks a little different from the output I used to get on the old one. But we can try different things here. The wrinkles may be too much for it to handle. I might have to do that in like Photoshop. But I'm surprised that like the, not blemishes, but the freckles or whatever here are not doing anything. But one of the other things that I love about this is the eye, like a little bit of lightening of the eyes. It's very, you get to lighten the eyes up and give it a little more detail. Less detail, you go too far, his eyes start looking weird. We get, you can brighten the teeth. You can do all sorts of stuff with the face here. This is the mouth, teeth brightening. And one of the things about this is it has selected this face. It's also very good at like kind of initially giving you what your mouth looks like, but you go in and adjust it slightly. Boop, boop, boop. So you make sure that the lips are covered, that the teeth are properly covered, so it's like doing the lightening of the teeth correctly, getting all the teeth. And if you do like the lip color enhancement, it'll, bump that up for you. Same thing with the eyes, where the retinas are, etc. Like the little spot where those are in the eye, so that when you do like the eye brightening, it's on point. One thing that this could use as well is a better management system for moving through photos. I was trying to go through that photo, like I'm trying to move over here to grab over, like a better navigator within the image when we're editing. Something that Photoshop and Lightroom have pretty well, since you have like the off to the side little navigator of the image you can move around. All these other programs, they don't quite have that down. Like they adjusted the other eye. One of the other things about this that I like about ON1, when it comes to adjusting things like the eyes, you can adjust like the size of the right eye, the size of the left eye, because sometimes people will slightly close one eye and you want to like try to make them even out, make it look better. Yeah, I'm not totally loving the this updated skin smoothing. I don't think it's really. Is it me, or does it look like it's blurring stuff? It's like doing a surface blur. It doesn't seem like separation here. You see, we're gonna we narrow the face. I'm not a big fan of this. Sometimes I'll do it like a very quick one because it's just somebody's just a tiny touch, but again, easily to overdo. I want the pictures to look like my client. I don't want them to look like a different person. All right, we're going to open another layer. This is a 3/4 shot. I'm going to try some other. I think it's a little overexposed. Bring the highlights down a little bit so we get some of that back. We're going to adjust our color. These are just basic adjustments you can do, and like the everyday adjustments of color and temperature, etc. It's very similar to Lightroom and other editing software. Pretty standard. Now we're going to go through our some more of our presets and see if there's something. I'm going to make something interesting from this photo. And like what I do love about this, go through them, is very similar to Lightroom, where if you're going through your presets, it'll preview as you go through the photos, but it gives you a kind of a the thumbnail so you can see it, unlike Lightroom where you're just kind of like guessing like, okay, whatever this is by the name. It'll give you a little preview beforehand of what the image is going to look like when you apply your preset. So that's nice. I think that helps cut down on not getting exactly what you want. And these will come in as, when you apply them, if you're like, okay, I want this, it comes in as kind of like a layer on top of your image, and you can adjust the opacity of it and add multiple layers of presets to your particular image. Like I said, you can adjust the opacity of the filter or preset, and we're going to go in here to the effects. Yeah, you can adjust the opacity of the effect as you see here. And you can, add different effect layers and then adjust them however you want to as well, which is nice. You can get a lot of creative control over that. Well, I personally am not a huge fan of a lot of these presets. They don't fit my style of shooting, personally. To each their own. But you can, mix and match things as you want. Plug it in and then go and, customize it afterwards. There's a lot of ability to make changes here. And you can also create your own presets, much like like Lightroom and other software, Aperture, etc., where you can create your own presets. You just have to save it. No reset. Go back. You can write text. You can do text on the on your image if you want. There aren't a lot of design tools, much like in Photoshop, where you can create shapes and such, but you can do text. And we can just try to get like a better color for the skin here, requiring a little bit of adjustment. I got too into the presets, and the preset changed the skin. And then they have, again, a whole bunch of other effects over in this panel for selections, making selections, and other effects you can add to your image. These are actually the ones I think are like a layer as opposed to the presets. The presets will add some things like this, and then you can go in and adjust the overall look afterwards. But there's a ton of different options here for things you can do. Again, you can make selections for masking for the foreground and then adjust it afterwards. And we're painting in like a local adjustment for the color balance or color enhancement. You can make lots of local adjustments. You can make, masks, etc. It's pretty. It has a very expansive tool set. Again, there's all sorts of stuff in here. And then you go in and, I want to do my filters. I want to create like a filter. These would probably be better for landscape images. But so many different choices to choose from, different options to choose from. So many different choices to choose from. Me. But yeah, there's like tons of things. We're going back in the portrait. Look, zoom in so we can actually see the effect that this is having. Zoom in again. Come on. There we go. All right, yeah, we're going to see her eye is one of the things I want to change. Ooh. So I want to like make, it's her left eye, but it's going to say right eye because that's actually the right eye from where I'm looking at it. You see, it's very subtle, but I'm making that eye a little bit bigger so that it matches the size of the other eye, making it seem more symmetrical. This is like, people find that more appealing visually. That's just something, that in our brains, we will like the more if we see somebody's eyes. It also makes them look more confident. If the eyes are both the same size, sometimes people feel a little weird, and that's why they slightly close one. Her eye is looking a little slightly closed because her head's turned a little bit. Here you can see like a before and after of different making different choices, so you can kind of preview what this is going to look like when we do when we use these tools. Sharpening. We want to make it, like we want to sharpen this image and make it a little bit more like the focus on the face was like, it's not soft, but it's not like super tack sharp. So it's like this tool is like to make it a little bit sharper. I don't think it's necessarily like it's something that is groundbreaking as far as the results, but I mean, you can help. Something you can go in there. Maybe this tool will learn more. All right, now I want to get rid of some of these flyaway hairs. How do we do that? Can we make a local adjustment here in ON1 Photo RAW? Okay, we've got our different tools over here. On the left-hand side, this very, very, very small tool thing. We got a remove. Oh, that's a huge brush. We do not want the brush to be that big. Let's make it very small. Well, maybe too small, because I got to be real careful about how I retrace this hair. Oh, where does it think I'm going to? Over there into her. That's an interesting choice as far as what we're going to remove from and face. No, like I don't want to put it in her hair as far as like the source to sample from, because then it's gonna look like there's more hair there. See, and then we're gonna move this. I'm gonna move this over here so that it kind of matches up a little bit better with skin as opposed to hair, because the hair is gonna make it look wonky. It's gonna look like there's more hair on her face and there's a weird pattern. So again, we're gonna switch this up so that it's on skin. These are just the sampling areas that it's like removing the hairs from. You may have to move it around a little bit depending on your photo. But this is very similar to, say, Adobe Lightroom's non-AI powered removal tool. Like it's like a clone stamp kind of removal, erase, whatever you want to call it. replacement. Results wise, I don't know if it's quite on par with Adobe, but I mean it's decent. It's good, and again, this is not something I usually use ON1 for, but the capabilities there. I'm doing this stuff. I usually do this stuff in Photoshop if I'm doing this sort of work. But you can do it here if you're looking for something that's a replacement for Photoshop. It certainly has this capability. I just wouldn't say that the results are always going to be as good as like Photoshop's algorithm. However, they're trying to see if we can get some of the shine on the nose here. We're getting a little overexposed. All right. Should I use too big of an area? Should I start it smaller? I have a totally different thing that I use in Photoshop. I will select a color sample of the cheek or the nose or whatever's close to it and use that as like a paintbrush at a low opacity so that I can kind of pass over it and so it's not white and it just starts to fill in a little bit. And you still get the texture underneath where you paint it over because you're not 100% opaque. Okay, we're gonna try it again with we're gonna bring up our size because it's a little hard to do this with when you're using a small brush. All right, and let's find a place where, yeah, that works. And sometimes it's just a little trial and error, trying to figure out where exactly you need to paint in and where you need to source from. Change the size. Use the forehead because it's got a similar color tone. Yeah, so this is just doing a lot of little edits on the face, little local adjustments on the face in the effects channel. Something I like to use a lot is I like to make panoramas, especially when I'm traveling. So I like to see this is just another option you have here. Go in here and we select all of these photos. Right click. Scroll down to, where is it? There we go. You can do lots of different things. You can open as layers. You got a bunch of photos of the same thing, and so that you can, stack things. But then we have combine as panorama. See how long it takes to put these all together and create a panoramic image. It's interesting to see. I'm running a huge amount of RAM. That's actually not too bad. That's a pretty good outcome. It's auto cropped it for me. But actually, it didn't take very long to create that. That's a lot of images. They're pretty big. They're full-size JPEGs. And now we're going to export it. It might take a little while. So let's go on to our next topic of conversation. So, as I mentioned earlier, you can launch these things from Photoshop or Lightroom. You can launch all the different types of things, go to effects. And you see we have all of our different ON1 programs, resize, effects, portrait, etc., etc. And also, they are their own individual programs. You can open them individually if you want, without even opening Photoshop or anything else. And you can just drag photos in there to have the process. So we got I'll pull a photo out here. So you can launch them from Photoshop or Lightroom. You can launch them on their own, just as like an individual image. And then we're going to go through here. This is for the resizing. I want to resize this image. Oh, I will say it is the ON1 resize
It does a pretty good job of upscaling images. So if you want to make your photo larger, you can do that. It will batch process these for you. If you have a bunch that you want to have them like upsize the same amount or resize to the same amount, it'll do that for you. You can batch process that. Again, you know, open all these as like individual little programs. They launch from ON1 Photo RAW. You can launch them from Photoshop. You can launch them from Lightroom. It's very versatile in that sense. So you have a lot of different options for using these programs from ON1.
Thanks for watching this video. If you are interested in trying out ON1 software, you can get a 20% discount with the discount code in the video description below. Now, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe for future videos. In the comments, tell me what you thought of this video or what you would like to see me cover in future videos. I look forward to helping you out in the future. And until next time, stay safe and stay nerdy. Want more great videos? Be sure to subscribe. You can also get access to exclusive content and early access to new videos by becoming a member of our channel. What are you waiting for? Sign up today.